What is going on, everybody, and welcome to episode 004 of this brief. Today is going to be a quick episode. There is a lot on the docket for me today, so I'm going to try to get some crypto and AI news out there, stir the pot a little bit, maybe get some conversation flowing with me, myself, and I, and call it a day. So today we're seeing a little bit of green in the crypto markets. Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana are slowly starting to crawl back north, which, if even temporary, is a positive sign. Bitcoin is trading at $63,081, up 3.2% from yesterday. Ethereum is trading at $1,659, up 2.37% from yesterday. And Solana is trading at $65, up roughly 3.5% from yesterday. So we're seeing some marching up. We're seeing crypto start to take a couple of steps in the right direction, though we've all seen this before. I wouldn't be surprised if, whether it's a piece of news or just the way it works, tomorrow it's right back down 3% across the board. But that's just the pessimist in me right now. I'm still long-term bullish. There's some decently exciting news, as always, going on in the crypto markets. I would call it standard news at this point, and that's an interesting thing because 3 years ago, a little over 3 years ago, when I got into the crypto space, if this news that we see on a regular basis existed in 2023, I mean, people's faces would have melted. I mean, the amount of mainstream crypto news that exists is unbelievable. I mean, you can't get through a session of Squawk Box, I don't watch it, on CSNBC or CNBC, whatever the heck it is, without them mentioning something, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tom Lee bought Ethereum, Michael Saylor bought Bitcoin, whatever it is. And it's just amazing how numb we have all become to all of this crypto news. And right now, so Solana reports new highs in tokenized assets and stablecoin supply. Solana's May ecosystem roundup said real-world asset value on the network reached more than $2.8 billion. Stablecoin supply crossed $16.4 billion. Tokenized equities reached 97% of cumulative on-chain spot trading volume, and spot Solana ETF assets under management crossed $1 billion. The update also pointed to broader activity across validator clients, token programs, perps, agent tooling, and tokenized asset classes. So that's just a little update from the Solana Foundation. I mean, this is stuff that's just like, there's growth during red days. And it's unfathomable to me how we're at this point where these L1s are being used. You have, whether it's massive credit card companies coming out and saying, we're partnered with Solana. I think it was MasterCard or Visa, whoever, but they're all coming out and partnering with someone, right? Stablecoins are all the rave. The L1s are the rails. Probably makes sense to hold the L1s, not financial advice. And again, if this was 3 years ago, people would be freaking out. If MasterCard came out, and again, I don't know if it's MasterCard or Visa, I forget, but if they came out and said, we're using Solana for this, or whatever, if they even said the word Solana, new all-time highs. And now it happens, and everyone's just like, who cares? Forgive me as I drink my coffee. And it's just, it's a shame. We have become so numb to positive news. And I mean, that's why I feel like it's just the beach ball under the water. I just feel like there's a lever that is going to be pulled or just kind of automatically turned on. I don't know what it is. And I feel like once it happens and once people flip bearish, there is going to be so much sentiment that is going to send prices. I mean, look at where we are. Just take a second, everybody, and just think about where we are in the crypto space versus 5 years ago, or even 3 years ago, using my experience, okay? 2023, early 2023. Think about it. There is a Solana ETF, an Ethereum ETF, obviously a Bitcoin ETF, an XRP ETF. There is an ETF for everything, okay? Every money manager has a digital assets wing. Fidelity, BlackRock, whoever, insert. They pay attention to digital assets. BlackRock accumulating Bitcoin. At one point was the IBIT ETF had the most Bitcoin on the planet. Now it's Strategy. Strategy, just buying as much Bitcoin as humanly possible, always. Tom Lee buying as much Ethereum as humanly possible. All of these giant institutional buyers are participating in the crypto market, okay? It's like this is so bullish, and I don't care what the 4-year cycle says. I don't care what, Joe Schmo key opinion leader says on crypto. He knows a lot more about crypto than I do. He knows a lot more about trading than I do. That's all great, but it's like, why can't we just keep it simple, stupid? KISS. Just keep it simple, stupid. And then when you pair this with AI, because AI is all the rave, obviously, right? The agentic economy is coming. I don't know when, but it is coming. And what will be the rails that the agentic economy runs on? This is basic stuff. This is like as big as an asymmetric upside as I could possibly fathom. What is the downside? Well, the downside is you put $1,000, not financial advice, you put $1,000 into an L1, Solana, Sui, Ethereum, who cares, right? The downside, you lose $1,000. The upside, insane, right? Like absolutely insane. Think about what you spend $1,000 on, say over the course of a couple of months. That's like, nowadays, that's like 4 trips to the grocery store, damn near, depending on how many people you're feeding. It's like, I don't know. I don't get it. I feel like we have such an opportunity here, and people are they live in the moment. They live for tomorrow instead of the future, right? And they get so caught up with, oh, it's red today. I'm so tired by this green, red. I'm going to exit the markets, or I'm going to listen to so-and-so and I'm going to buy back in October, or get a job, have income, and continue to dollar cost average in, right? Is that so hard? Imagine if you had been DCAing in since the crash in October to now. Look, I want to make one thing clear, little personal tidbit. I'm a massive fan of Akash Network, massive fan of AKT. I'm a holder, okay? Full disclaimer. I have so much more AKT than I did last October, and I just DCA'd. I set like a daily reoccurring buy, because prices were so unbelievably cheap. And again, I'll be candid with you. My average price on Akash going into October, I think, was like $2 and something. Okay, might have even been close, might have even been $3, but it was high, lofty. My average price now is sub 50 cents. I'm up on my position. Like, all I did was a daily buy, and this was money that would have gone to BS, Like, this is money that would have been budgeted for other things, whether it was subscription. I was paying $75 a month for YouTube TV, massive football fan, canceled that. That's $70 a month, right? That's almost $20 a week. That's one subscription. So you can go throughout your life and you can scrape some areas where you can get some extra change, and you just dollar cost average in. And it doesn't take much. I'm a massive believer in that token, but my holdings has literally like tripled since October, and I'm profitable on that position. So I don't know, y'all. Why does everyone just listen to the key opinion traders and all this stuff? It's like, if you're trading full time, yeah, you have to buy low and sell high, and buy low and sell high over and over and over and over again, because you have your mouth to feed, you have your family's mouth to feed, you have your kid's future to think of. Like, it's a little bit different. But when you're just a guy working a full-time job, like, why are you trading? Why are you worried about where crypto is right now versus tomorrow? That's just, I say, bogus. Dollar cost average, just invest if you believe in a project. And that's another thing. Believe in a project. Real use case. You gotta cut bait from the crypto decentralized use case that's bogus, and start looking towards actual potential use cases. Like, my biggest positions, full disclaimer, and I am Cedral Advisory. Let's just stick so this goes hand in hand with the current Venice and Akash of decentralized AI space. My biggest L1, Sui, Solana. The thesis on those is not rocket science. It's not a stretch. It's alts, relatively Venice, straightforward. Akash. And I would say there is no difference, zero difference, investing in those than a small cap AI company that you believe in. If you just pin the tail on the donkey, that's not what we're talking about, right? you're going to lose. Like if you just went onto Robinhood, or you went into your brokerage account and you just said, okay, what's a small cap AI company, and you invested in it, lose, right? You don't have a thesis, you're not investing, you're just gambling, you're just throwing your money at it. That's not what we're talking about. When you look at Akash, decentralized compute marketplace, GPUs, reverse auction, get the best deals for GPUs. We are in a shortage of GPUs. There's not nearly enough GPUs to go around. NVIDIA is essentially trying to do the same thing Akash does with Home Node, with NVIDIA's like, we'll pay you to have a little data center at your house type thing. We need more GPUs. Right now, there's a fraction of the population that is actually using AI. Like, again, the public cannot even conceive of the ideas of how to use AI yet. They say, yeah, I use AI, and they use ChatGPT to ask if the color of their dog's poop is normal twice a week, right? That's not using AI. You're practically just using Google. When the day comes where people have agents, and actually like maybe there's one agent per 5 people, think about the amount of, that's actually might be closer than we think, because multiple people have tons and tons of agents. But let's just say every person gets one agent and there's one agent per 5 people. When that day comes, the amount of compute that we will need, right? That's an Akash thesis alone. There's way more. There's a lot of other reasons why I like Akash, but that alone is like, okay, maybe I'll start to invest. You look at Venice, private inference. Who else is doing that at the scale that they are doing? Who else is doing it and building a consumer product? I use Venice all the time, not just because I built Cedral AI on it, but I use it all the time as a consumer. When I need a Venice feature that I can't do in Cedral AI, and there's a good amount of stuff, Cedral AI is built to be very different than Venice, but when I want to use like the studio in Venice, I want to use their image editor, I want to use their video creation, I want to use all of that stuff, I go there. It's so easy. I toggle between Grok and GPT-2 for pictures. I just go back and forth. I pick the best stuff. I brainstorm. Like, Venice is a sick product. And by the way, it's private. Like, who else is doing that? The answer, nobody. Who's doing it well, at least? Nobody. If you want real end-to-end encrypted inference where the compute is a trusted execution environment enclave of GPUs, you go to Venice or you go to Cedral AI. Shameless plug. But so that's what I'm talking about. Like, that's a solid investment, And I think that people need to have conviction. They need to have a thesis. They need to invest, and they need to hold on for dear life. The classic HODL, right? Nothing changes. So that's my opinion. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. A shameless plug for all of those companies and tokens. This is not financial advice. Although I do have a question though, right? Because the SEC came out and said that crypto assets are not securities, legally not securities. They're commodities, digital commodities, technically, if anything. So it's like, would someone even get in trouble for providing advice on crypto investments? I don't think so anymore. I don't think so. And it's funny because when I first started Cedral AI, and I'm kind of still willy-nilly working through it, but I started studying for the Series 65 because literally at the time, crypto was considered security. And you needed to have the Series 65 license to legally recommend, securities for individuals. And while I was studying for that, Paul Atkins, the SEC chair, came out and said crypto is not a security. So it kind of like made studying for that obsolete. I still end up getting it, but so it's interesting. So people who are saying not financial advice, do you even need to say that anymore? I don't know. It's food for thought, but that's going to do it for today. Today is a relatively quick episode, I think. I went on a tangent there, 15 minutes roughly, probably. More crypto talk today, not a lot of AI talk. Crypto is my roots. That's where I started. That's where I really started to kind of pay attention to this space, is through crypto. So I know there's not a lot of breaking news in there, a lot more just my opinions, my ranting, but that's what it is today. There's not a lot of news out there. Bitcoin's doing what Bitcoin. Actually, Bitcoin has dropped. What did we start at? Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana has dropped in the middle of this podcast 2%. I think across the board pretty much. Bitcoin's at 62,556, Ethereum 1,600 or 100, 1,644, and Solana at $64.98. So how about that? But that's going to do it for the Cedral Brief episode 004. If you made it through all of this, I thank you for listening. If you're on Spotify, feel free to rate the podcast, leave a comment. If you're watching on YouTube, like, subscribe, comment. And if you're watching on X, go ahead and follow the accounts. Follow the Cedral Brief, follow Cedral AI, follow Cedral Advisory, and follow my personal account, TySargeX. Nothing wrong with that. So, Godspeed to you all, and have a great day.